Introducing the swimmer out of the blue corner. He's standing at a tall 6 feet, weighing in at 185 pounds of pure aquatic power. Swimming out of Stellenbosch, South Africa. A multiple-time national medalist, a dominant force in the breaststroke, and a master of the individual medley. With speed, with strength, with precision in every pull and every kick, he is the South African breaststroke beast, Petrus Truter!
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for coming on, Petrus.
Yeah, thank you, Petrus. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be in here. Thanks for having me once again, and I'm excited to see what's clapping on this episode.
No. So let's jump right into it. So, Petrus, for the people who might not know you yet, who are you outside of swimming?
Well, I think that's sometimes hard to identify because we as swimmers identify mostly with our swimming. So for most people, I am just Petrus the swimmer, But if I had to dive a little bit deeper into who I am as an individual, I'm very calm, gentle, a little bit of a laid-back individual. I'm very shy, introverted, and not necessarily don't like speaking, but I love talking. But I am a bit drawn back to the crowd. I'm very shy to start conversation, and it's not because I don't like people. I just have a very big tendency to. I like being in my own skin, and I like being on my own. So, yeah, that is a bit about me. I'm very kind. Don't mistake me for being quiet as being mean. I'm very. Once I start talking, you'll see that I open up very quickly and very, very drawn back. And
he does talk a lot when he does talk a lot when he wants
when you get to know me, I can talk quite a bit, especially if it's on topics of interest. But yeah, that's a little bit more of me, and I hope that it gives a little bit of a declaration of who I am as a person.
And you're quite the I know I love your content on Instagram and stuff, of all the stuff about like God and everything. I know I'd love to see that when you post like how you use him as like your biggest source of power and strength.
Yeah, no, what's it? My relationship with the Lord is something that is very near and dear to my heart, and something that I decided in 2026 I'm gonna take very seriously. And in 2025 I had an experience where I felt like I encountered the Holy Spirit in a sense that made me practically drop everything and take up my cross every single day and march for Christ, and very much in a position where I am fortunate enough to do that, and really sharing that journey with people is what also is such a beautiful thing for me. And to see how many people also integrate with what I'm sharing and appreciate what I share is something that means a lot to me. And to see people supporting that journey is something you don't see in this world that we live in our days. So that is something that is very important for me, and trying to shine Christ's light into people's lives is, that is something I really want to do. I believe I'm not just put on this earth for a swimming purpose, but I feel like I'm meant to bring out Christ in the swimming world, and that is a goal that I take head on, and I'm very excited to bring that into light this year even more. So
that's awesome.
Like Christian said, with you posting those videos, I feel so inspired with those videos, and it's just amazing to see, especially with me being training with you since 2024 now, and just to see how much you've grown with bringing more of God into your life and letting him take over and just leading your way. It is just amazing to see. So since you've taken God so serious in 2026, when did you start thinking swimming was not just a sport, but it was actually something that you want to pursue head on fully?
Well, so growing up, I didn't play a lot of sport, but I had my particular, typical, you play rugby you play hockey, cricket, primary school,
Yeah.
you
You did
explore
everything.
Did
everything. You did
everything, yeah,
everything.
come
Yeah,
on.
I did cross country, athletics, flipping, you name it, pole vaulting, believe it or not. I did that in the beginning of high school.
Yo.
Word.
So yeah, quite wild. But when I reached beginning of high school, just before I turned 14, at that point I was really struggling to try and qualify for, at that point, was junior nationals. I was always I call myself a bottom feeder in those terms, because it really depicts of how, let's say, slow I
Yeah.
was back then. And it's disappointing results. And when I reached that point, I was like, okay, if I want to achieve the goal just merely of just trying to achieve junior national level, I am going to have to drop everything else. And at that point, I was playing cricket, and I was like, I think I played the first 3 weeks of high school cricket, and I was like, okay, now I need a lock in with swimming now. So yeah, I'd say it was just before I turned 14. So I was 13 when I made the
Okay.
decision to competitively pursue
Yeah.
swimming as a main sport.
Yeah, no, and it's paid off. Like we've seen you compete.
Yeah.
It almost feels like everywhere.
Not yet everywhere. That's the goal.
and like
Gonna get
Christian
there.
said, national medalist. It's paid off. It's paying off. It's incredible to see. And since he also said in the intro, you're like a breaststroke fanatic. What breaststroke event do you think people see you as?
At this point, people still identify me with the 200 breaststroke, because I feel like that has been the result where I've been on a national level. I've been the most consistent in. I don't want to dive too deep into last year's nationals, because that, in my opinion, was horrific, and I'm still recovering from that. So we are locking in for this year's
We don't live in
nationals
the
too.
past.
There we go. We
Yeah,
don't
live in the
exactly.
past.
Past is the
We forget
past.
about that.
The past is history.
Exactly. But yeah, I've always been in team when I've been picked for teams. It was always predominantly for the 200. So I think a lot of people associate me as a breaststroker still with the 200. I'm yet to show my skills in the 50 and 100 leading up to nationals now. Next weekend will be a good indication, and Grand Prix thereafter is 2 weekends of really good racing that I'm looking forward to, where I can really knuckle down on the skills that I've learned and practiced every day. And then nationals is just going to be a final showdown on that. But yeah, I think a lot of people expect me to perform in the 200, because that is what I grew up. It's the event I qualified for Junior Worlds in. So I think since that happened, a lot of people were like, oh, he's with the 200 group and stuff.
Yeah.
So
breaststroker.
So
I'd say that.
Would you say, like, the first big race you remember, like, where you thought, like, this is like what you want to do? Would you say that was when you qualified for Junior Worlds for the first time? Or is there another event, like maybe your first time qualifying for Sanjay? Like, where's the moment that was like, you touched the one, you saw the clock, and you're like, you did it, like that wow moment for you?
That was qualifying for Junior Worlds was an incredibly special moment for me, because I must say that is a swim that I hold very near and dear to my heart, because it showed me that I was capable of taking things further. And it was even more, I think it was even more memorable than the time I qualified for Sanjay. And I think those two kind of go hand in hand, because qualifying for Sanjay led me to believe that I reach a Sanjay final, qualify for SA Nationals, reach a SA National A final. And now with COVID, we obviously had regionals, but when I qualified for Junior Worlds there, it really showed my the talent and the skill that I had to reach higher heights, and my dream of becoming an Olympian seemed a lot more clear than just the worry of like, oh, is the sport really for me? Am I doing enough? So that swim was a very good, and I think it was a a big indication for my coaches as well, because I think my coaches were kind of way, like they were like, yeah, kid, you're way in over your head. I don't think they really comprehended my skill level until I achieved that. And then ever since that happened, I think they had a little bit more faith in my ability. So, yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy how like you people won't, like, you'll say something like you nearly spoke it into existence in a way. It's like that's how I always like to look at it, is you believed in yourself that you'll hit that time, and you did it, and then everyone else thought you were crazy for like setting your standards, what they would thought was too high, but you actually went right through the roof and like showed them all.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like, exactly it. I think they were pretty stunned. I think my one coach actually couldn't believe what he saw, because I don't think he really was thinking. He was definitely thinking. He actually told me way afterwards. Because I came up to him after the prelims. I like cruised the prelims, felt it out, and I had to take off seconds to qualify from the prelim to the final. And I told him I believed I could do it. And I told him, no, listen, I'm gunning for it. But he gave me a look that's like,
you're crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy. And then I went and did it. And then he was like afterwards, like, yeah, no, kid, listen, I honestly thought you were a bit way in over your head, but you did it. Well done.
That's nice.
So but at the same time, like you said, I believed in myself. I knew I could do it. I had full control of that race, and I knew I had control of that race. And that's what, I feel like my superpower when it comes to racing is my confidence. I feel like when I'm standing on those blocks and I'm confident in what I've done, then it's game over for everyone else.
No, that I've seen it. I've seen you ride the blocks. I'm like, damn, I have to race this guy now. Like, even it's like 100 back, or not 100 back, 100 fly or something like that, or 50 fly even. I'm standing there, I'm like, this man's gonna kill me.
But that is also when you need to start having confidence in yourself.
No, that's
and fair. Also keeping, it's hard sometimes, but focusing on your lane. You focusing on yourself and what you are doing, because comparison is also it's always the thief of your joy. And you gotta focus on yourself. That's where your confidence essentially grows, is when you start really just knuckling down and locking in on your own.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also, like, I think kids especially, they see, like, let's say, like, there's one boy that's going, like, they're their age, but they're going above him, so they compare themselves to him. And say, like, or compare themselves to her and say, why are they getting there? Why am I not there? But like, you don't know what they're doing to get there. You need to focus on yourself, and your path is. Everyone has a different path on this earth to be where they need to be.
And God wrote it. He wrote it before you were even born. So
exactly.
It says in the Word. I'm not 100% sure where in the Bible it says, but it says, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. And it's so incredible to know that your life was planned out just the way it worked out and will work out. And you just need to trust in that process. You need to trust where God is taking you. And sometimes I'm even now in a position where I don't understand where God is taking me, but I have fully surrendered every single part of my life to Him, because I've dropped everything and saying, you know what? I do not want to be in a position where I am away from you. Where if you are not part of that plan, then I don't want it. If you are not there, then I don't want it. And lately my faith has been growing so much, in the sense of just trusting God in that process, and that has really helped me with fuel for training every single day, with grit and determination. And there's like, you know what, there's a bigger purpose behind this, and I'm trusting my Creator in this. So that is really something that's been helping me a lot.
No, it's nice to see how you are, like, putting your faith into God and following, like you said, if someone's not supposed to be there, he'll take that person out. You're not the person is not supposed to be there. He looks after you, and if you believe in him and you trust him, he will give you the world. He will help you reach what you are able to reach, and maybe even more, depending on what you think. Because also, if you, let's say it says you're going to reach that, like reach the Olympics, but you don't believe it yourself, then you won't get there. But if you believe in it and you believe in him, you will get there. And that's just so
100%.
nice to see from you. I have to say.
Yeah, no, it's a tough journey, but sometimes you just need to let go and trust God in all of it. Sometimes even if the path doesn't, I described it once that the path that I was walking, I felt like I was walking blindfolded over a tightrope in mist with your hands tied around your back. That is, it's sometimes you just need to take it one tiny little step at a time. And that's okay, because that's part of life.
You'll get there. You'll get where you need to be. It's
100%.
There's no measurement of. You don't rush it. You don't need to rush it, because you'll maybe make a mistake and then you'll need to go back a few steps before you get there to go forward again. So no, that's totally understandable. So I've been having this on my mind. Like, I've seen you make a couple of teams now, but my one real question is African Games. How was that experience? Okay, talk us through that.
Well, African Games was, I must say, it's definitely the most memorable tour for me in terms of the vibe that was on that tour. I actually went back the other day and I looked at photos that we, of the whole tour and everything, and I low-key started tearing up because I missed the camaraderie that we had on that team. Was just something else.
Who were some of the people on the team? Who were some of the people?
A couple of very good friends of mine. Andrew Ross was with me, Jordan Eaton, Caden Naidu, Liam Webby. It was a really powerful group of swimmers. Owetu and Tumelu Mahan was also there. Clayton Jimmy was also on that tour. Jonah was also on that tour with me.
Jonah.
So it was a lot of fun. It was a incredible tour. The vibes, we all stuck out for each other, and but the tour itself was, as any African tour, it had its challenges, and mainly for us was not necessarily the place where we stayed at looked somewhat questionable, but we had aircon, so we stayed in the hostel of the University of Ghana in Accra, and I think for us it was the food and the heat and the walking, because our dorms were quite far from the bus. I think it was like, okay, I might be overestimating this, but I think it was like a kilometer walk each and every time from the bus to the end of our dorms, with the dining hall on its way between it. But so it was incredibly humid. It was very hot as well. So the combination of the heat and the humidity was insane.
It was a killer.
The food was okay. I think it's a lot better than I thought it would be. And but it's just like I said, the camaraderie that I had on that team with the people, it was just, I made so many friendships. I think I don't think people understand the friendship bond that you make with people when you go on a tour like that, because everyone feels like they're in hell, quite frankly, for a little bit. But it's good to know that it's not just you going through it. There's other people, and the other reasons, the camaraderie, it's not just amongst the swimmers. I met some incredible people that played volleyball. There was boxers. It was athletes. I met some incredible people from Team South Africa that were with us, and that was really the friendships I made through that. Was also for me it's a blessing, and expanding your contacts in that sense. And though we don't keep in touch much, but you still.
At Gala, she'd be like, "What up, buddy?"
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys know the she's a javelin, the javelin silver medalist from Olympics. Johan van Dijk. Yeah, I think she was actually on that tour with us as well. Before she went to Paris last year. Paris in 24. So yeah, it was incredible to, there's a couple of Olympians that I don't think were Olympians or were already Olympians back then, but then went to Paris and everything.
Yeah.
So it was incredible. And
That's nice.
yeah, the gala itself was also, it was apart from World University Games, it was the next best thing of, international swimming. The blocks and the pool was amazing. The facility was absolutely spectacular, and the competition was strong. It wasn't easy. I was kind of big-headed going into it. I was thinking like, I'm gonna go win this, and then I think God decided to humble me a bit.
Had some humble pie very quickly.
100%, because I remember the first day I had 100 breaststroke, and I qualified first going into the final. So I was lane 4, and completely choked. I choked so hard because inevitably I put the pressure on myself, because there were other athletes that came and watched us, from our own team, and I felt like such a failure after that race, because I came 4th. I didn't even podium. I came 4th. And the thing is, that gala was also the positions of 4ths, because it was so bad. I came 4th in the 100, 4th in the 200, and 5th in the 50. So it was a gut-wrenching, humble experience. But yet I learned so incredibly much from that gala, and from that whole experience. The friendships I made, not just the swimmers from my own team, but from different teams, the different sporting codes. It was such an incredible event.
No, that it sounds, except for the food and the heat and stuff like that, and the walking and the race or the finals and all of that. I feel like it sounds like you really enjoyed it. I feel like the friendships that you made just triumphed over all the other negatives that was there. And
100%,
even like meeting future Olympians, not knowing that they would be there, but being able to say, no, I was on the same tour as Johan van Dijk or someone like that,
That's a crazy one to say. That's And how was university games? You said it was different to African games. So university games, that was there was a swimming team. A lot of top guys were with you there, we saw.
No. So All Africa World University Games was I must say, that is the top cream of the crop team I've been on. And I think that is mainly just because we had a really good team going up, and I think the camaraderie that we had there was also awesome. But for me, it was more the village experience that you get from World University Games. I mean, China, they like they go out and about, it's all or nothing for them. And we went to both the opening and the closing ceremony, and the way how they just spectacular. They really go far, but beyond one's expectations. And I didn't meet Kwan Haiyang, the 200 breaststroke world record holder, but I got a photo with him, and also to meet him in that tiny 10 seconds that you speak to him. He's also he's such a chilled and nice guy. And to see him race, he just came off breaking the world record in the 200 breaststroke. To come see him race in China, in his home country, was just incredible. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough back then to swim with them in the semis or in the finals. It was really difficult. It wasn't impossible, but it was quite difficult to get into a semi, but definitely not like world champs level.
Yeah.
But It was awesome. It was really such a cool team. Meeting the locals, seeing the culture that is in China was also very interesting. They being in a different time zone, like way ahead of your what you've ever experienced, was so weird for me, because I would back then I would wake up in the morning and I'd like want to message or call the people that I love, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning.
They're sleeping.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're sleeping. And when it's like when my day is almost you'd reach 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they're just starting. And I'm like, that's so weird.
But you're not used to that.
No, not at all. But surprisingly, the jet lag didn't affect me too much. I was 3 days acclimatized when I got there, so it was incredible. It was just, man, that was really, it was a immaculate experience.
How was the culture difference between South African and Chinese? I've always wondered that.
It's very interesting. The thing is, I think it depends on where you are, because they are they're very well organized, extremely well organized. They've got their ducks in a row, like to the T. Like
before they eat them.
No, no comment. But yeah, they are extremely thorough in their processes and their planning. It's like, if something happens, it happens to the minute.
Yeah.
So the organization, their planning is incredible, and culture-wise, it's different, but it's interesting because it's just a different level. Like it's
a first world country compared to a third world country.
Yeah, no, it was. I was quite frankly living in heaven for like 3 weeks, and then I had to come back to our lovely country that I love so much.
But then you could braai again, Then you could braai place again.
I can actually braai again. Yeah, that is true. But and the dop wasn't as it's not as bad. It's not as good as here. So
no, I know.
Nothing will beat home. Nothing will beat home.
Yeah, no, a nice brandy and coke, with a nice piece of lamb choppy on the fire.
Scott choppy, yeah. Can't put that in. I'm sponsored. I can't talk about alcohol.
We'll cut that. We'll cut that.
Hey, we all human beings. We all human beings.
Yeah.
So
everyone's only human.
Yeah, no, everyone's only human. So leading up to a competition like that, like the weeks, the months, how long before would you hear about it? Firstly, then would you change up your training for that, and run us through a week of a hard training week?
It's funny you say that, because my one coach scarred me so much with the training I did that I can remember it so vividly. Also because
let's not say the coach's name, because we can all think of the same coach.
Yeah, you already know who it is, but but bless his soul, it was good training that we put in. But I was chewing bricks every single day. It was hell. It was, and the thing is, like, we did a program. So let me start. So first of all, you don't necessarily know when you have made the team, but at that point, I think my coaches were given, inside information, because they knew how important it is for us to know about these things, so that we can start putting, because you need to get right after nationals, you need to be in the water and you need to start training again.
No, 100%.
So I think they got a little bit of inside info and letting me know I was partially, what do they call it in university? You're like partially accepted.
Partially accepted. Yeah.
So I was like partially chosen type of thing for the games. So then we're like, okay, let's start our training program. And my training program for leading up to university games was essentially two 6-week phases, and it was absolutely horrific. Because we were 12 weeks out, and the first 6 weeks phase was lactate generation, purely focusing, like training sets, purely focusing on generating lactate and generating fatigue. So our Thursday sets that we do, just think I'm doing I did 5 of those sessions a week leading up.
I
So
can barely do one. That's
no,
crazy.
it was hard. And then we did a 6-week phase of back end, and essentially all those 6 weeks, each and every week, like days would all be the same set. Tuesdays would all be the same set. It was like 6
Oh,
repetitive weeks. So
You knew
know what's
exactly what
coming.
was coming for you. Oh,
Yes, yeah. So
I feel
every
like that
single
makes
day.
it so much worse.
So if you, let's per say you're doing Monday afternoons are always 10 100s on 120 holding threshold or whatever it may be, and then
yeah.
Wednesday afternoons are 1050s at generating lactate or whatever it may be. That then you'd know every single Monday is like, oh yeah, 10 100s of what lactate, 10 100s of threshold. Okay, let's go. But yeah, so it was very grueling. That training cycle was that was probably one of the harder training cycles I've done, just purely because that first 6-week cycle was just pure lactate generation. So you do it's just you essentially swimming until you can't swim anymore.
Yeah.
That is basically the goal of those sessions. Is you are trying to inflict as much pain to yourself as you possibly can. So it would be something like I remember this. Yeah, it would. There's this one set that we did. I think it was always on a Saturday or something, and it's like you'd go 220. It was like you'd build up, but it's like 425s on 30 max, and then you go push to 35, and then you do that like 4 times with like not a lot of rest, not even like easy swimming in between. You just like sit and let lactate build and stuff. But it's just it was horrific. I was I think at one point they tested my lactate and it reached up. I think I was at one point it reached like 12 or 14.
My word.
Which is I'd say in general that's about borderline of what your average lactate should be at the end of a lactate set.
Yeah.
Or actually like maybe even the bare minimum, or not the bare, like 12 I'd say is bare minimum. I know my other coach would disagree with that, but I think a lot of people, because I've reached some people reach like 18 or something 19, and that's absolutely I don't know, I would not be able to move. But yeah, so that was the training cycle, the type of sets I did leading up to World University Games.
Damn. Like I know the most lactate, my highest lactate after like it was a distance session on a Saturday was like 6.6 or something.
Yeah, and that's rookie numbers.
That already hurts. I'm too scared to test myself after Thursday morning.
I think that
stuff hurts.
Yeah, it hurts quite a while. It hurts a lot. Lactate generation is something it's not for the faint-hearted.
No.
So Petrus, with the training block, obviously there would have been a lot of swimmers nowadays. It's the gym is where, like, especially with the 50 and the 100s, the gym helps a lot. So how have you seen the gym help you versus when you were younger and it was just pool-based swimming? So gym and the hybrid training versus the just swimming. Do you see a big difference now?
100%. Yeah, the thing is, the gym is what gives you. The thing is, swimming can only help you so far. It can only build your aerobic. I feel like your aerobic fitness reaches like a plateau to where you can like improve it and whatnot. And then from there, you need the weight training to be able to essentially grab more water. And stuff. So yes, I definitely see a great improvement from just swimming to swimming and gymming, especially when you start adding heavy weights and being explosive. And it makes a world of a difference. The amount of power that you can generate is just so much more, like so much more.
Yeah. And then also, since I know you're quite good with your underwaters, but I've also heard you like long course more. Short course or long course? And why?
Long course, 100%. Long course. So here's my argument. Like I think my underwaters still do need a bit of work. I think if I look at people like Ty Pearson, his underwaters are immaculate, and
Disappears.
training. Yeah, he just in our threshold sets, he would like just go. He'd his underwaters. I'd watch him underwater for the 2 kicks that I do. I'd watch him do like 7, and he'd be like at 12.5, and then he's already like half a body length ahead of me. But for me, I think because my underwaters aren't that shape for short course, I benefit more from long course because I'm more of an endurance swimmer. So my speed on top of the water is a lot quicker than my speed below the water. So for me, that is why I benefit so much more from long course, because I'm better at keeping my speed on top of the water for a longer distance. And with short course, because I'm good at that, you inevitably break that cycle if you do a 50 freestyle. I'd guaranteed some faster long course than I'd do short course, because I would break my cycle and then my underwaters would fail me, and then it's just like it's a disaster. So so because my speed on top of the water is better, I feel like that's why I like long course more, because I feel like I have a better advantage in it than short course. Not that my short course is immaculately terrible, but I think that is something I can maybe after nationals, depending on whether we are picked for either of the 3 teams. That is something I definitely want to start working on leading into SA short course next year, because there's also World Short Course Championships in Beijing in December.
Yeah,
I know.
But so Petrus,
4 teams.
Yeah, there's 4 teams for you. And then my other question. So I do breaststroke also, and it's funny because for me, breaststroke short course is so much easier to swim than breaststroke long course. Like for the 100 and the 200, it's easier short course because of the walls. Do you find it the same with your pullouts, or not really?
So for me, fatigue-wise, short course is easier in a way. I don't think it gets harder the longer the distance gets.
Yeah.
But I feel like with short course, your fatigue, you can fight the fatigue a lot easier because you're only swimming 12.5 meters each length, because once you reach international stage, you're getting to the ability of doing, like 12.5 meters on each breakout. So you end up doing only,
50 meters nearly.
Yeah, 6 to 8 strokes, and then you're into the wall again. So physically, it's easier to fight the fatigue in short course than it is with long course. Long course, you reach the 25-meter mark coming back on a 100, and then you're like, oh, you see, these muscles are starting to fail me. And it's a lot harder technique-wise to keep that, but that is what you train. It's short course in a way is easier, but each discipline, short course and long course has its own difficulties. Whilst short course is more predominantly focusing on underwaters, so your underwaters and your turns would need to be really snappy. Of course, swimming fast on top of the water is also crucial, but if you look at short course swimming, that is where people gain the best advantages from their turns and their underwaters. If they're fast on top of the water, then that's fine. They're going to have the advantage anyway. But if their turns and their underwaters are cracked, then you're practically screwed. Whilst if you're a long course swimmer, if you have a better endurance, your turns and your underwaters aren't necessarily the best, but they're not terrible, then you have a more advantage.
Yeah, and with this talk of turns, underwaters, all of that in racing, and if you're good at it, you have a good race. If you're not, you have to work on something else. And let's say that doesn't go right for you on the day and the meet, how do you not let that affect your meet? And how do you deal with the disappointment itself before you decide, no, I'm going to scratch that, we'll go into the next race?
So that has been something that's always been difficult for me, because I swim with a relatively high standard. I swim with a lot of I want to say aggression, but what I mean by that is not like necessarily just the attitude. It's because it's just the way how I race is very like I have a certain goal that I would like to achieve. And sometimes if I don't achieve that goal, I would become incredibly upset because I worked so hard to try and achieve it.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out. So I've had struggles in the past working on that, but I've definitely gotten better. But the one thing I'll say is I've learned a lot about constructive criticism. So what that basically means is you are constructively breaking down what you did wrong, but you don't label it as what you did wrong. You label it as what can you improve. Because as soon as you start putting, oh, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, then you are putting that those negative thoughts in you. Whilst if you look at it from this was great, this is what I can improve on, it immediately adds a more confident side, and it adds a little bit more positive thing to the race. It doesn't mean it's everything went to crap, you know. It went okay, there's things that I can improve on, which is good, because in my opinion, I think it would actually be the worst thing if you did everything perfect. So for me, in a prelim swim, if I got everything right in that prelim swim, I would be like, okay, that's great, but replicate that.
Yeah.
Whilst if you did everything else right and you just got one small thing wrong, then it's like, okay, you know what? Everything is there. You need to focus on that little thing. And that's something you can change in warm up. Whilst you are warming up, you can focus on that. And then once you do your dive, then you can go and fix that from there. So it's all about perspective.
Yeah. You look at the glass half full instead of half empty.
Half empty, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I had to think there for a second. I was like, slow down.
I have to say, it's quite cool to see how you have put yourself, you have that mindset of not what I'm doing wrong, but what I need to improve. Like, even to me now, just hearing that, it's all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, damn. That's actually quite, like, if I do that, if I think like that, I'll do a lot better in my races as well. Like, I'm actually gonna use that. Thank you for that.
No, anytime.
Because like I'm like thinking now, every single time I've checked a race out or I think back of a race, I look at a video, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm doing that wrong. I'm doing that wrong. I'm doing that wrong. So why did I some of my races at champs, I got DQ'd for going past 15, and I was like, damn, I'm doing too many underwaters. Why do I keep doing underwaters wrong? And instead, I should be looking at how can I improve that. Even though there's not a mark at 15 like at champs, I know exactly how many I do to the 15.
Yes,
and I'm like, damn, so smart.
It does change your perspective in immense lot, and like I said, it gives you a bit of more of a confidence boost in saying like, okay, you know, we got this right and we can improve on this, and we know we can, so let's go and knock it out of the park tonight. You know? It just gives you a little bit of more of a flame to you know, to under your a burning aspiration flame. There we go.
Yeah. Damn, big words. And so since you said the mindset and stuff, how would you approach the expectations of yourself, your coaches, and even like family members or friends? How would you handle that?
I think for me, I've been fortunate to have an incredible. When it comes to family, I think I've had an incredible privilege of having a family that doesn't put expectations on me. They're practically clueless when it comes to
That's how we love. That's how we like them.
Yeah, but which is not. My dad is obviously he's clued up and everything, but the rest of my family is like, if you tell them like, oh, I qualified for Commonwealth Games, they'll be like, oh, fantastic, I'm so glad. But the thing is, like my grandparents, for instance, they would watch it, and what would be a bad race for me, they'd still come like, you know, mooi geswem, I'm so proud of you. you did so well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank
And
you,
then you
Grandma.
trig
I
yourself.
really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You trigger
I
yourself
think-
and be like, well done. I'm like,
yeah. So I think you know, I'm very fortunate to have a family, a supporting family that doesn't put expectations on me and that don't really know of the expectations that I put on myself. So that's one thing. Then when it comes to my coaches, I think they don't really put expectations on me. I think they know what I'm capable of doing, and they never like expect me to, you know, they never go up to me before the final of 100 breaths and say, okay, if you don't go 101 tonight, then it's game over for the rest of the comp. You know, they're very generous coaches, and you know, they also don't nail down on the expectations because I think they already know that I expect that from myself.
yeah.
So, and when it comes to friends, same, the support system that I have is actually so amazing because I'm surrounded by people that know what I'm capable of doing. But if I do fail, they're not like, you know, you did so bad. You didn't say, you know, you didn't do what you were going to say you were going to do. They're like, you know, we're here for you. We understand it's you know, it's disappointing and it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate to have a support system like that. And when it comes to having the expectations of other people outside of the club is a different story, but I don't let it get to me because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's quite frankly, it's irrelevant. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to mean anything to you. It's like, you know, it's good to see there's like, if people think like, oh, I expect him to win, then it's like, okay, cool, this guy has confidence in me, or this person has confidence in me, and they see my skill. But you shouldn't be like, oh, but what if I lose? What if I come second or third or whatever? What are they going to think of me again? That's irrelevant. That's completely irrelevant, because the one thing that the mindset that I'm going in with nationals is to still be my own identity.
Yeah.
So regardless of what happens, whether I win nationals this year, or whether I come first, second, third, or last, whatever it may be, that I still say like, no, but this doesn't change who I am.
Yeah.
I'm still Petrus after that. It's not going to change me as a person.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the way how I walk with Christ and share the gospel or whatever it may be. It's just a performance. It's just one race, you know. And inevitably, I would be disappointed if I don't reach certain goals of mine. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change who you are. So it's the biggest thing. Very funny because like it's one of those quotes that says you are your own worst enemy. And in most of my career, I was to my own demise. I was the reason why I didn't achieve a certain thing, because I didn't choose to race hard, or I put too much pressure on myself, or whatever. I cared too much about everything else. I didn't care enough about myself.
Yeah.
And that is something that is going to change this year, is where, you know, you're putting God first and you're putting yourself first. You're focusing on what you need to do and not focusing on other people's opinions or expectations and stuff. So yeah, that's what I have around that.
No, it's nice to see that you have, like, you've got the support system, you've got the coaches that believe in you, and they know that they don't want to put extra pressure on you, because they already know you're putting that on yourself. Like you're already expecting what they don't need to expect anything, because they know you expect that from yourself. And it's nice to know you've got that friend group, or that the squad around you that supports you. And I feel like that's something that lane leader really does well, is supporting each other. Like every final, you know, even prelims, you'll see those that aren't swimming or aren't swimming at that stage or that race will be standing next to the pool screaming for you. And even if you don't get what you wanted, we will all still be proud of what you have accomplished in that race.
Yeah,
And that's just so nice to see from lane leader.
No, it's very much we are a strong family,
Yeah,
if I can put it like that.
and it's not. Sorry, go Christian.
You go.
Okay. And it's nice to see that you don't put the expectations of, let's say, I want to say strangers, but the people that you don't know as well. Yeah, non-swimmers. You don't really see that as pressure. You're just like, oh, okay, this person believes I can do that. Oh, it's still my own expectations. He believes in me. Even if I don't come, whatever he believes in, it won't affect my way of thinking.
Yeah,
which is amazing to see.
No, but coming back to like what you guys were saying about like it's like a family. I think you need that type of surrounding in your training. Like you need to know like you're all there for each other, and it makes it easier then for everyone because you nearly have your friends to lean on at swimming. Like if you're coming from a rough day at university or at work or whatever, you know you're coming to a place where people care about you and they're gonna check in on you. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
So on the notes of university, I know classes start this coming week, you know.
We just need to see that.
If this doesn't tell you how badly locked in I am for this academic year, I've already planned out my A1s and my A2s for all my modules that I'm doing because I cannot screw this year up.
There we go.
Third year this year, or
well, very strictly doing third year modules mixed with first year modules. So, so basically, I have 7 modules year round. 4 in semester 1, 3 in semester 2. 2 third year physiology modules in both semesters, and then first semester 1 I have a physics module and a math module, which is the first year modules, and then in semester 2 I just have 1 physics module, which is also a physics semester module, which is also first year, but that comes from the fact that I didn't incorporate that in the rest of my degree. So now I have to incorporate everything together in the last year. So that's fantastic.
And for next year, are you going to go on to do a postgrad, masters, honors?
I'll apply for postgrad for honors in high performance sport, but the chances of me, I'm planning on not actually doing it. I'll apply, but if I get in, I'm going to decline it because I would rather use that year to start part-time working as well as focusing on training, because 27 I think is a very important year for me. Because that is when the gap to qualify for Olympics starts to open, and that opens in I think July or June of 27. So that is going to be a very crucial year for me, and obviously there's World Champs in Hungary and Budapest. There's
World Cup.
World Cup as well. People trying to qualify for the 50 and August, I think it was in October of 27. So so 27 is a big year for me, and I want to give myself obviously the best advantage to it. And so part-time work is most likely going to be the thing mixed with the swimming, but I really would like to start building my financial future and everything, because I'm reaching the age where that is becoming a reality for me. I'm next year I would be turning 24, and it's crazy because that's a year short of 1/4 of a century. That's kind of crazy to think about it. But I need to start providing for myself. I need to move out of the house. I need to start living on my own and everything. So that is most likely going to be the reality for me next year. But
so with us speaking about you becoming more mature and moving out and focusing in 2027 on your swimming at the age of 23/24, let's quickly look look at what our youngsters of South Africa, and I feel like there's some, I don't know, I'm not as quick as some of the youngsters nowadays. What do you think is something the youngsters need to catch up to let's say the level of the Americans at the same age?
I think the one thing that we as South Africa inevitably lack is facilities. Number one, I don't think that's the biggest problem, but facilities is definitely, it would make a difference. But I think having more coaches that are that coach on a high level, because there are a lot of good coaches in South Africa, a lot of coaches that are producing Olympians and stuff. But because our work ethic is definitely not the problem. We as South Africans have an incredibly hard work ethic, and there's a reason why international companies and whatnot and enroll South Africans, because of our work ethic and how hard we work. So that's definitely not the problem for our youngsters, but I definitely think exposure is also a thing. I think if we have more people either coming from abroad to share their knowledge, and then coaches to apply that knowledge to the youngsters, or to go abroad and train there. In last resort is then to gain more people with more experience in South Africa. So I think those are the four things I think that are important if we want to produce more, let's say, super fast swimming youngsters. Then I think that is those are the things that we might lack a bit of at the moment. But like
would you say maybe being in Stellenbosch, since it's quite a hotspot for a training facility that people come to swim in, would you say you've gotten some of that exposure from a young age?
I'd say we definitely have some of the facilities that I grew up with my coach that coached at Marty's, and he designed the outdoor Kutsenberg pool and organized the building of it and everything. So I grew up swimming in that pool, and that was probably I had that. I was privileged enough to have that access to that. And back then I didn't gym yet, because introducing gym back then I was 14, 15. So it's you don't introduce in the way we were brought up, as we don't introduce weight training that early just yet. So we definitely had the Marty's definitely has the facilities and whatnot and stuff. And I mean, if you look at SAS as well, they also have incredible facilities. So and we definitely have access to that, which is very nice.
And then I want to speak more about nationals coming up. We've got quite a few people that want to try and qualify for Commonwealth, Pan Pacs. I think African Games.
I think it's Senior Africa Champs or something like that.
Senior Africa Champs, as well as all three. All the teams are going to be chosen from nationals. How quick and how much depth do you think we will see at seniors?
I think, in my opinion, the competition is going to be incredibly high. My opinion is, I think, especially for me as a breaststroker, 50 and 100 is going to be incredibly stacked. 200 is also going to be. 200 is always a little bit of a. It's not as competitive as the 50 and 100, but I definitely think we will have a bigger competition field in the 200 than previous years. But the 50 and the 100 is going to be incredibly stacked with competition, especially the 100. I think 50, there's 2 guaranteed spots that we'll see. It's going to be first and second. But there's going to be a little bit of playing around in the 100, because some people are better at the back end, some people are better at the front end. So it's going to be the 100 is going to be more of a dogfight, the dogfighting event. but I think the competition is going to be really high this year because of it being it's Commonwealth trials. There's so many teams that are at stake of being picked. So and there's obviously athletes. The athletes are training in the States or training abroad. They are coming down. And
it's going to be everyone's going to be.
It's going to be. I think I personally think it's going to be a really fast nationals this year, and I think everyone is going to go quick. Everyone is going to go really, really quick. But the standards are going to be really high as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what do you think about the qualifying times for Commonwealth?
I think they are fair. I definitely think they are fair because, and my reasoning behind it is because I think if they added a second qualifying time with a qualifying time, and would make picking the team a lot harder.
Yeah.
So it essentially they with the times make sure that there isn't really a gray area. That's kind of like black and white.
Yeah.
And it's easier to select people, because there's going to be the handful that are definitely going to qualify. I think it's about, I'd say it's about 8 people that are guaranteed going to swim the A qualifying time. And then they're going to be people that are going to be that are either going to swim the A qualifying time as well, or they're going to be just short of it.
Yeah.
And because, if let's say 8 people with the A qualifying time, and the team, they can pick 21 people. So there's 8 spots already taken, and then you have another 13 that is like open for consideration. So then the people that are really close to the A qualifying time or just missed it or whatnot, then they can be like, okay, this person is like really close. Maybe we can add him to the team, him or her. So I think it makes the selection process a little bit easier in that sense. And I definitely think it is fair because if you think about it, Commonwealth Games is also it's not fun and games. It's really high level. You have Australia, you have England, you have Wales, you have Scotland. A lot of really high competitive swimmers. I think, and especially Australia being the biggest of them, and in that sense. But so it's not, it's not just easy hoo-ha, it's not just any games. It's a big thing. So I think the times are, I think they're fair. It puts the standard nice and high, and I think also it kind of like guarantees that we are sending really good swimmers, to whoever makes the squad are the best of the best. And would most likely guarantee at least a final at Commonwealth Games.
Hopefully medals. Hopefully some medals.
No, definitely. We're going to have some couple of champions. We're going to have a couple of medals as well. I can guarantee that.
I'm excited to see the relays, especially.
That is going to be
we put together for the relays.
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that 53. I don't know if you guys follow aquatic sports, but I can't wait to see Calvin come down, and I've been following his journey, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting with him. It's I've also seen a couple of videos and his progress, and that is going to be quite interesting. That is, I must say, that is.
I know he's under the qualifying time. He's under the qualifying time for Commonwealth, and I know it is on the calendar for him to come down and swim to qualify. But him and Peter it's gonna be a good head-to-head to watch.
No, definitely. I think it's gonna be a good competition.
It's going to be but if you look at this table, all the races, it's stacked.
There's like 3 or 4. There's 3 or 4 people in every event that stand a chance to get
exactly
to win.
Like,
so it's actually.
I think butterfly is going to be also really competitive for Chad to have a look. He's got to watch his back now. Like, these youngsters are coming up for him. Like, you got to watch out for Ty and Jordan and them.
And 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And Chris,
100%.
I think Chris also.
It's gonna be stacked.
Yeah.
There's so many quick youngsters that I'm like, oh my word, what am I doing?
Yeah, don't worry. I also feel like that sometimes. Don't worry.
Christian, do you have anything else you wanna?
I think just let's do some quick fire questions here with you. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Quick answer. Favorite race to swim?
100 breaststroke.
Least favorite set ever.
Oof. 3 4s, 3 3s, 3 2s, all in breaststroke. First round was descending pull. The 3 3s were descending kick. The 3 2s were descending swim.
I'm never letting my coach see this set.
Absolutely horrific.
Yeah. Least favorite race or event.
Oh. It depends. 200 breaststroke can sometimes be one of them. But I'd say, what is the event that I genuinely don't enjoy swimming? Probably 1500.
That's fair. That's
Don't
fair.
think anyone knows. Favorite taper food.
Oh, pasta, 100%.
One swimmer you looked up to growing up.
Chad and Michael Phelps were definitely two icons that I looked up to growing up.
If you weren't swimming now, what would you be doing?
Playing golf, 100%. Sometimes I wish I actually took golf up instead of swimming because there's so much more money. Not that I would do it for the money, but there's just you can actually
there's more opportunity.
Yeah, you can actually earn a living from it.
Yeah,
of course you're gonna have to go abroad for it, but you can actually earn a living from it by doing that.
Yeah.
So
and last question, one thing fans don't see about elite swimmers. What's like something you think they don't know about the elite swimmers?
I think for how laid back they actually can be. So
Yes.
I think
And how friendly they are.
yes, 100%. I mean, there are like some swimmers who like they act the way how they race, but most of them are actually so like chill. They're actually so open to conversation and like relaxed, even though they might look like they don't want to speak to you. Otherwise, they really quite laid back and relaxed. Want to talk and socialize.
Exactly. Yeah. They love to get to know people. I feel like swimmers spend enough time in their own heads. They want to like talk to other people and like
That's
get like here.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
I don't know how it works with you guys, but like we'll be swimming like because now it's been a lot of aerobic swimming and stuff like for the past like month. We're doing a lot of aerobic, and it'll be swimming like 400s and 500s. When I get to the wall, I just want to speak. Like I've been thinking in my own head.
That's
sounds like Utah.
No. What's it? That's the bane of my existence. That like the long aerobic, especially when it reaches like 400s of swimming, I'm like,
Yeah.
That is just something that I'm like, that's too long.
Yeah, when I get
like
told
it,
a
I don't like
400
it
and warm
anymore.
up. When you get told a 400 and warm up, that's long enough for me. Like I don't want to do like I'll rather do like 200s than do a 400 because like it's
especially
it's a long
course.
time. Long. I went like long course. It's so much better than short course.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Petrus, for coming on. I think we had a great convo.
Thank you. Once again, thank you for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be with you guys and to share a little bit of my experiences and my knowledge. And thanks for having me.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
And I definitely think we're going to be catching up with you at seniors when we see those fast times coming. I'm going to be standing there waiting for that. Gonna cheer on.
Just under the pool, picture like. Okay, guys, that was that.
Sorry. I'm going to be standing there like this with the mic. Here's me with the mic. So, Petrus, how was it?
I'm excited for nationals. It's going to be a good year this year. I have a really, really good feeling about it.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. But no, thanks again, guys.